What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 18 of our Bayer Leverkusen Let's Play here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good. Today it is Champions League time. We're taking on Bilbao away from home. A game that has pretty large implications given how the last few games have gone since we were last here. Let's take a look at them to kick things off. Of course, last time out we took on Leipzig, a 1-1 draw away from home. Not a bad point on the reflection, it was quite a tight game. Since then you can see 4 games played, a bit of a mixed bag all in all. Only 2 league games, but well, the first game in this list you can see here against Bilbao, a game against the team who we're going to be playing today, and well, this was a little disappointing, a draw ultimately. It finished 1-1. Leon Bailey got us off the mark immediately. Inke Williams on the counter-attack for them got a goal, and well, 1-1 was how it finished. Bailey, man of the match, but not able to carry us as he has done in a few games this year. The next game, a somewhat easier match against Dusseldorf, but we didn't make it easy for us. In a game where they had a player sent off after 50 minutes, and a match that we largely dominated, it took until the latter stages to break through, and it was an unlikely breakthrough actually. Marin Pongratic with the goals. The Croatian centre-back, someone who we signed this year, he grabbed 2. One at the, from a set piece, then Bailey got one, then he got his second of the game and our third. I mean, you look at him here, a very, very good ball-playing defender. A player who really hasn't played that much for us, but I've given him a few games as of late, and he's really started to perform. And given how he's performing form-wise and how much better he's been doing than Retsos for us, he's kind of earning a spot right now at centre-back. A player who was really only brought in because he was kicking up a fuss, but making the most of the opportunity he's getting. You can see in the next game we took on Cologne in the German Cup, played a vastly rotated team for this game. In the end, Retsos and Paqueta with the goals that saw us win what was a game that we dominated for large spells. Retsos, man of the match in this game. And yeah, all in all, just a really, really solid performance. In these last 2 games as well, you'll see we're really making the most of our set pieces, which is great to see because last year we were lacking there. Anyway, our most recent game against Werder Bremen, a very, very disappointing game this one. Wagnerman was sent off in the second minute for what was just a horrible tackle, and to make things worse they scored from the resulting set piece in the 3rd minute, and from there, despite being a man down, you can see looking at the stats we proved a threat, but we just didn't have that killer edge. We didn't have that cutting I guess aggression that we've had in previous games, and despite having a lot of chances we just couldn't find a way through. So yeah, a win and a loss in the Bundesliga. You can see in terms of the league, we're in second behind Wolfsburg. You can see the chasing pack, Schalke, Hamburger, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Dusseldorf, who we did beat 3-0. Then it is down in 7th that we have Dortmund, who are, well, you can see here, 6 points behind us and with atrocious goal difference. And even further down, Bayern Munich. They've lost more games than they've won after 10 games. They're on 13 points. You'd have to say, with us being 4 points clear of Schalke, this is a title that we should very much be fancying ourselves to win at this point. Teams have slipped up behind us, Leipzig struggling even more than Bayern. We need to be doing well here. We need to be performing, and it's going to be interesting to see how we get on, I guess, in the second half of this opening half of the season, really. 10 games played. We've actually not got that many now until the winter break. You can see here in terms of league games and matches to look forward to. We have until the Hanover game, so some easier games in here against the likes of Freiburg. That Schalke game against the team in 3rd could be a particularly big game next time out. But looking beyond that, Hamburger are going pretty strong. Mainz in 9th. Wolfsburg is actually probably the biggest of these games, a game that we may well livecom next time out. But anyway, let's not worry about that right now. Right now we've got to worry about Bilbao and the Champions League. And well, you can see, looking at the group here, we need to beat Bilbao. The draw against them was definitely 2 points dropped as far as I'm concerned. In terms of this group, it's so tight at the halfway point. It's still very much anyone's game. But to give ourselves the best possible chance of getting out of this group in the top 2 and getting to the knockout stages, we need to win this game. In terms of our team, this is what we're going to go with. We're going to go with Hradeski. At centre-backs, we're going to go with Pongracic and Jonathan Tah. At anchorman, we are going to go with Kor. Out on the left, we go with Vendel. Romero at right-back. He is in, as you can see here, for Weiser, who is suspended. Of course, you can see Sessegnon injured and Victor Fischer still injured with his torn hamstring. Almiron still nursing that injury that he had previously. Probably not ready to be on the bench. I'm almost better off having a fit Sven Bender than having Almiron playing whilst he's not 100%. Anyway, looking further ahead, you can see Paqueta and Palacios at centre mid. Palacios really has been a standout performer this year, a 7.18 average rating in the league. In the Champions League, he's been a tad disappointing, but he's continuing his development. Hopefully he can come good for us today. And then in the final third, we're going to go with Leon Bailey, who is struggling a little bit for fitness and probably won't finish the game, out on the right-hand side. Out on the left, we are going to go with Paulino, who has been improving so much this year. I mean, look at this level of improvement. Hopefully he can keep it going. Still a lot of potential, I feel like, for him to live up to. And up top, we are going to go with Kevin Volland, who has been in absolutely atrocious form. I'm actually going to warn him going into this game that I'm not happy with how he's been doing. He has genuinely just not been good enough. Can I even warn him? Have I left it too late to have a little chat with him? I have, because we're on game day. But Volland, not good enough. Turn things around, please, for us today. In terms of on the bench, you can see here we've got Vretos and Wagnerman, Havertz, Bender, Origi, Brandt and Ben Yedder. Plenty of options here. I am a little concerned that with Origi, Ben Yedder and Volland kind of struggling, we've not really got an out-and-out goal scorer besides Leon Bailey. Paulino has stepped up a lot to the mark, but I don't know, we need one of our strikers in this side to start catching fire. Hopefully this can be a game for one of them to become inspired. And it's going to be Volland we put our faith in initially to try and make things happen here. Anyway, let's see if we can go top of the league. Going to tell the players I've got faith in them. Hopefully we can just click and hit the ground running. We need a win here. The draw against them while you were gone was just an awful result, really. We dominated the match for large spells. I'm hoping that we're going to bounce back today, show what we're made of, exert our dominance, and, well, fingers crossed, touch wood, come away with the victory that I feel like we do deserve here. Obviously, there's not been a whole lot of games since you were last here. League form's been a bit hit and miss, but it's kind of silver lining has just been how good we've been at set pieces from an attacking perspective. I do feel like in terms of defending set pieces, we've been a little questionable, so we've got to be wary of that. And, well, you can see here, they are on the attack. Susaeta with it. Nice little tackle by Paulino. Ambitious ball to Volland, but maybe he can pressure, maybe he can latch onto a mistake. Unfortunately, Bilbao work the ball nicely from the back here. It's now with Munain, who's going to come forward. Hits it, I mean, it was not far away, was it? That was kind of a bit close for comfort. Rifled, not far wide of the mark at all. Vendel's been booked. He's out of tackles. Don't do anything stupid. Volland on a booking as well is always concerning. We've only really got Leon Bailey maybe for the first 60 minutes of this game. His condition really isn't that good. I can't really afford to risk an injury for him because he has been so crucial to our league form. But, well, maybe Volland, maybe Ben Yedder, maybe Paulino, or maybe someone else in our team is going to step up and be the striker that we need. Of course, we've got plenty of options on the bench. Origi, of course, as well. But, well, Volland had scored lots last year, and I have faith in him. Palacios, I mean, it was ambitious, but the ambition really nearly paid off there. A marauding run, not something that I've seen in Ezequiel Palacios' game from centre mid. But he looked pretty good there going forward. But unfortunately for us, half-time, 0-0. Am I going to have to get a bit aggressive and shouty? I feel like I'm going to have to. I'm far from pleased. Let's get into this second half and see what we can do. Need to turn things around, please, boys. Going to be interesting to see how we do get on here as this game progresses. Bailey is going to be tiring. So that's a change I'm probably going to be forced into making unless I really want to risk him, which I don't. I'm going to make the change now, actually. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring in Origi ahead of Julian Brandt. I'm also, actually, while I'm here, going to make another change. I'm going to bring in Ben Yedder at complete forward for Volland, who just, again, hasn't turned up today, which is really disappointing. You can see a 6.3 average rating, just poor. This is a match that really has... But I want more. You know, I want to be here at Bayer. I want to be getting into the Champions League knockout stages, particularly given how well we're going in the league. And if this stays as it is, which it looks like it's going to, late chance maybe for Paqueta, who hits it straight at the wall. That's going to be it. What a boring game, 0-0. But with that result, we are really not quite looking good enough as things stand. That is a tad bit disappointing, to say the very least. You can see Bilbao hold out for a draw. Ben Yedder still hasn't scored. Granted, a lot of these games have been on off the bench, but even so, he's just really lacking. Argentina boss here to look at Lucas Romero and Palacios, which is interesting to note. I almost feel like we should do another game this episode. You know what? screw it. I'm going to go forward one game. We'll do the Freiburg game off camera. I'm going to come back for the Schalke match after the international break. That could prove huge for us. I feel like I owe you a little bit more in the way of entertainment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, so we're back with the second game of today's episode. A bit of an unplanned double, but after that 0-0, you deserve better. Since that last game, we have just played Freiburg in the league prior to the international break. We won the game 3-0. Really convincing performance. I'll put the highlights in front of you now. But yes, a really, really good performance away from home against them. They are right down there in the relegation zone, but regardless, good to get plenty of goals. Again, making the most of our set pieces. And yeah, all in all, it sets us up really, really well going into today's game, which is, as you can see here, against Schalke. So if we just look at the league table, the significance of this game is kind of clear already. We are 4 points ahead of Schalke. A win here could extend that gap to 7 points. Our goal difference is also the best in the league right now, which is absolutely fantastic. Wolfsburg still ahead of us by 2 points. If we just look, they're playing Hertha Berlin today. In terms of their schedule, they've got to play ourselves soon. They've got to play Leipzig. They've got to play Schalke. There's definitely some tricky games in here that they could slip up with. You can see they did beat Dortmund not that long ago, so they're certainly a team who are grinding out plenty of results. And without the distraction of European football, could be in this for the long haul at the top of the table. In the other kind of side of things, you can see here, Schalke looking very, very solid indeed. They just beat Dusseldorf 4-1, drew against Leipzig prior to that. They come into this game off the back of a 4-1 win, which was pretty convincing. They're in some pretty good form, to be honest. They have slipped up just a little bit as of late. Hopefully we can capitalise on it, however. In terms of our team news going into today's game, Leon Bailey not fit enough to play. Every time he comes off international duty in Jamaica, it feels like he comes back struggling for fitness. It's the case again today here, and as much as I'd love to play him in a second v third affair, I can't really afford to risk it. In terms of the rest of our team, I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Palacios has been out of form in the last few games. Kai Havertz has been putting in good performances, so we're going to bring in him. Volland. Maybe today's the day he turns it around. Ben Yedder on the bench waiting for an opportunity. Could also add Origi to the mix. And I'm tempted to. I'm actually going to play Vendel, I think, as well. He had a really good game last time out. He's been in great, great form. Yeah, I think this is the team we're going to go with. Unfortunately, you may have noticed Jonathan Tah. In fact, I didn't mention it, and I didn't show the team the fixture screen. But Jonathan Tah got sent off in the game against Freiburg just before the third goal was scored. So we're without him. As a result, our back two is going to be Sven Bender and Pongresic. And well, we'll see how we get on today. So let's get into this. First game was a 0-0 ball draw. It can't be like that again, can it? Surely not. Hopefully we can really turn things up and apply the heat. We need to start finding some form. Thinking about this team just a little bit, I might change Volland and Paulino around. Possibly. I've got to wait for the game to start to actually make the changes. But I might well do that. Volland can then cut in on his left foot. Paulino can play as the complete forward, and he has been in a bit of better goal-scoring form. Yeah, I think we'll make that change and see how it works out for us. Volland, last year, actually put in some good performances, cutting it in on from the right-hand side. Hasn't done a whole lot of it this year in terms of scoring from the wide positions, but maybe he can turn it around today. We've got a chance here. Baketa, oh my gosh, that was curling, that effort. 3 minutes gone. It was a wee bit ambitious, but it was not far away from the mark at all. We've got a set piece here. Julian Brandt, back post. Havertz keeps it alive, blocked away. Off the line, could there be another chance here? Core, not far away at all. That shot whizzing past the post. Remains 0-0, however. And, well, the longer this goes on, the more nervous we're going to get. We really want to be winning this game, extending the gap over the team in third. Given where we are, given the fact that I really want to see us as title contenders this year, at home against Schalke, we need to be winning this. But, well, we need to defend this. Oof, cutting in. Not the best finish by him in the end. It goes wide of the mark. Radetzky had it covered. Possession-wise, we are edging it. Chance-wise, it's been a bit bogged in the midfield. Not the whole host of chances either way, at least early on. Perhaps that can develop and change as this fixture continues. You can see their midfield struggling a little bit for condition, as is our team. We are just coming back from an international break, so perhaps a little bit of rust and dust to maybe just dust off with the team. Of course, you can't dust off rust, but you can dust off dust. We all knew what I was trying to say, I feel like. Anyway, we need to defend this. It's whipped in. That's a nice little goal by Mark Oof. It was a header at the near post, looping, but well directed. In the end, it went over Hradeski's arm, who stuck it out to try and stop the effort finding the back of the net. And they find the back of the net. You can see here, we give them a bit of space out wide. Harit, nice run in, dinks it, edge of the 6-yard box. Keeper, agonisingly close, just can't get a fingertip to it. It's a 10th goal of the season for him. And in a game where we've had 10 shots and had 60% of possession, we find ourselves a goal down, which is just a wee bit disappointing, I guess. So, let's get a bit shouty, shall we? I'm going to make a few tactical changes here. I'm going to go to a more attacking style of play. And then when we're in possession, I want to just up the tempo just a little bit this half. Less inclined to work the ball into the box as well. If the opportunity arises, I want us to have a few more efforts on goal perhaps, just to see if we can maybe break down this Schalke defence. You have to imagine they're going to get more defensive in this second half, knowing that they kind of just need to defend for their lives. We're going to play on the offensive. It might leave us a little exposed at the back, but I feel like we need to chase this game if we can. We need to be winning this kind of match. 2 goals required. Maybe we can get one here. Weiser and Havertz just linking up play nicely. Core now links it to Paqueta. Options on ahead. Put out wide to Vendel. Can you whip in a ball of quality? No. And the corner flag, MVP, keeps the ball in play. Can we press here? Can we box them in? Nice win there. Julian Brandt, crunching tackle on him, and now a big ball forward. Could be in a bit of trouble here. Defensively, a bit all over the place. Ball dinked over the top. Nicely read, though. And now can we counter Volland? What a ball that is to Paulino. Bearing down a goal, hits it. Keeper. I mean, he gets his palms to it. It's a stinger. Unfortunately, we can't get anything from the rebound. Assistant thinks we should play more direct and kind of, well, yeah, more direct. There's not a lot more to add to the sentence. I'm inclined to agree. Half an hour left, or, well, less than that, really. We've got a chance, though. Weiser cutting inside on his left peg. Not what he's known for, having a real talent with his left foot, but it's dealt with. Paulino's not had the best of games. Let's bring in Ben Yedder. Can Ben Yedder show us what he's made of? Volland, also not the greatest of games. I'm going to bring in Leon Bailey. Do I want to go for the triple change? I do. Almiron, get on the pitch too. We're going to go with the triple. We've not had too many injuries during games this season, compared to last year at least, which obviously is great. Hopefully we can maintain that here. Let's try and build a little bit from the back. We like to play out from defence, but we can play direct. We can play with that high tempo, you know, really go from back to front extremely quickly. That's what we're going to try and do here. Naldo, nice header by him, a player you're not really going to beat in the air. But well, Leon Bailey, clean for on goal. Oh my gosh, he should have scored the rebound, if not the first. You would have put your house on him to score it. Of all our players, he's the man who has been looking most lethal in front of goal. And well, when it's not his day, maybe it's not our team's day, really. Weiser now on a booking. 4 minutes left. A draw at this point I'd probably take. I don't know how Wolfsburg are doing in their game. I just saw actually in the top left, Dortmund 2-1 down. Almiron trying to get it through to Leon Bailey, but gives it away. A real poor pass there. The counter-attack potentially on. Can we deal with this? Maybe not. There's a chance here. Options in the middle. Schalke queuing up. They punish us. And, well, going on the attack has not worked out. A game where there's been plenty of chances. A lot of shots for us. But despite having 11 on target, we've really not crafted out too many real quality opportunities. They've got a second. That's going to be game over. Another really disappointing performance against a team we need to be beating. It feels like against teams like Dusseldorf, against teams like Freiburg in the previous match, you know, we demolish them. We take them apart. But in this game here, we've just not turned up. We've not made it count. I mean, chance for a late consolation, maybe. Julian Brandt tackled perfectly. Squares off against Naldo. Brandt, he's not worth it. You're not going to live that battle if you choose to take it. And, well, unfortunately, a 2-0 win for Schalke. A little bit against the run of play. I feel like the second goal came down to the fact we played aggressive to try and get the goal that we needed. Ben Yedder still not scoring. Bailey still struggling with his match fitness. I don't know what happened in the Wolfsburg game. We'll check how this goes on. Let's do the team talk, not the team talk, the press conference. I never normally do press conferences, but this year I'm priding myself on my media handling not being at 50%. It has actually been slipping a little bit this season, to be fair. But yeah, if we just have a look at the results here, it looks like Wolfsburg got the win they did. They beat Hertha Berlin. Dortmund drew 2-2 in the end against Hanover. That's a bit of a shock. So we do not lose as much ground as you might think we would. Unfortunately, with that win, Schalke closed the gap on us. Werder Bremen, how did they get on? They won 4-2 against Freiburg. The game here, Schalke against... Bayern against Cologne. Let's see how they get on in the evening kickoff. Cologne are rock bottom. Bayern really struggling, though, down in 10th. I mean, Bayern are probably going to demolish them. They should be demolishing them, at least. How are they going to get on? Can Cologne cause the upset of a century away from home? It's the dream. Do you believe in the Cologne dream? I do. Maybe. Okay, I don't. They lost 3-0. But with that, Bayern still 6 points behind us, so still a bit of breathing room, but it's getting very close at the top. Wolfsburg continuing to pull away. You have to wonder for how long can they maintain this. Their star player right now is Yannick Gerhardt, who looks very, very good at centre mid. Also got players like Felix Udekai, Roussillon as well. Yeah, they've got some pretty decent players, haven't they? But I feel like we've got a better squad. I'm hoping that eventually it's going to catch up with them. Of course, they've got our former man Bellarabi. He's been doing okay for them, to be fair. We need to try and bounce back, though. We need to try and solve our own problems. I'm not going to panic too much about form just yet. In terms of when we'll be back, it'll be for that last Champions League game against Monaco, I think. We may even bundle that up with the Wolfsburg game, which follows immediately afterwards. 2 huge games for us on the horizon. Need to be winning both of them. In the meantime, we've got a game away from home against Manchester United. If we lose that game, I'm not going to panic too hard. It would mean going into the last game that we would need to beat Monaco, but ultimately that is the game that I think really matters and the one that we should really be looking forward to out of the games we've got upcoming. So anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this video from me today. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, as always, do leave a like on the video. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.